Hi, welcome to another episode of our podcast. This one is called Hitting All the Right Notes. We're kind of doing something a little bit different with our intros. I'm sure you guys are kind of tired of hearing the same old intro every single time we do a new episode. Yeah, I think we all are. So now we're going to do generic, quick intros. Hopefully in the future we will have like a little bit of a jingle or something for you in the beginning.
Don't tell our secrets.
Well, not all of them. So, like I said, this one's called Hitting All the Right Notes. We will be discussing kind of social media a little bit and how, like, there's a lot of TikTok stars that think they're all influencers, talking about, like, some of the dumb influencers, the one, and some of the music issues or whatever, and how everything can be generated by AI, and it's like not as creative as it used to be once upon a time. So who wants to start where?
So speaking of not as creative, so a lot of things that I've noticed, especially with TikTok, is there's a lot of music being made on there, but it's mostly like synth. There's nothing real, like no real instrumentals.
Right.
People are kind of just pulling tracks or like sounds from synthesizers and all of that stuff and making songs. And I'm not saying that they're not that some of them are not good, because I do have a lot of music that I found on TikTok that I like a lot, but I miss the authenticity of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where like the celebrities actually like work really hard on their music
Right.
and stuff, and like write everything themselves. I just feel like a lot of times it's so much easier for people to just have something generated or whatever and then like make it work just so
Right.
it looks good.
I think that is like the majority. Like you were saying, I don't think it's everybody. Like there are some really, really good artists that have come out of TikTok, but there's so much like inauthenticity now that it makes you feel like all the music from TikTok is that way, even when it's not.
Right. And there are actually some really good, like, up-and-coming bands that post on there that do have, like, instruments and, like, they're real musician. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Not that some people from TikTok are not real musicians, because,
I mean, because, like,
singing
doing all
is
that,
still hard.
Right, and doing all that computer work and knowing, like, how to do that or whatever, that's difficult, too, like,
Right.
knowing how to do that, like...
Right, so I
commend people for that, 'cause...
I didn't
Right.
mean to put my foot in my mouth on that one, but I kind of did, so I apologize for that. But, like I was saying, there are, like, quote-unquote real bands on there, and TikTok is kind of a platform where newer bands can release, and if they get popular on there, then, you know, they're more successful in the
Right.
long run.
It kind of like takes away from those bands that are just using TikTok to like advertise for themselves versus those people who are using TikTok to create music.
Yeah.
Right.
And what's with all this, like, copyright stuff that always happens? Like, I swear there's, like, so much stuff,
frickin' roll.
like, on TikTok and stuff where, like, I get, like, if you like somebody's song and you, like, use pieces of it and stuff or whatever for stuff, but what is with, like, some of the people, like, not giving the original creator credit?
Oh, that
Like,
irritates me.
That makes me so mad. Like, why would you not give the original person credit if you're trying to, like, even if you're, like, making their song better or whatever, or whatever, like, you're getting popular off of it, and then, like, whoever originally created it is just going on the back burners.
Right.
Right.
And that happens with, like, a lot of the dance videos, too, like, the
So
harder
much.
ones. Like, I see people posting, you know, hashtag DC and then tagging the creator of the dance, but there's so many people that don't give the originals, like, their,
Which is also
credit.
bad because it's, like, it's honestly, it can affect their well-being because, like, a lot of creators now, it's, like, a primary job for them.
Right.
So, like, if they're not getting, like, the credit that's due and stuff, they could be losing popularity, they're losing money and stuff or whatever. Like, I mean, that's kind of unfair. I mean, like, if you're working, like, a regular job, like, why would you want me to come in and mess with your job so that you start losing money?
Right.
Like,
Honestly, I feel like from a caregiving aspect, we can kind of relate to that, because obviously, like, charting, if you're not the only one working, you're supposed to chart on the cares you did and the stuff that you did, but a lot of people don't really split up the charting anymore. Like, one person charts and the other person just does whatever. So I feel like that is kind of the same thing as someone taking credit for shit that I'm doing.
Or like
Basically, yeah.
or not like there's so many examples of this, especially in caregiving. Like if you're running around like crazy doing a bunch of cleaning, making the house or the facility look beautiful and smell beautiful, and then like a guardian or someone comes in, and then there's another caregiver that just happens to be sitting there, and they're like, oh, you did a great job, and they're like, thank you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
I'd be like, see, whenever that's happened to me specifically,
I'm
always give
that
credit
petty,
where
though.
credit
I'd be
is
like,
due.
bitch, no, I did a good job.
Right, but like I was saying, I always give credit where credit is due. So like if I'm not the one that did it and the guardian's like, oh, the house looks so clean. Yeah, thank you. My coworker did a great job.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, that's how I am too, but I've definitely seen situations where it did not go down like that.
Oh, girl, it's happened to me.
Yeah.
But more so with, like, my bosses.
Right.
You know, like, they'll be like, hey, you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. You know, the house looks great. Or the residents are so well taken care of. And the one person will just be like, yeah, thanks. I just changed so-and-so. And they've only done it once that day. And I've done the other 3 times. Like, please.
Right. Let's get on topic back to talking about like these weird AI things that are going on TikTok too.
So weird.
Like, I don't know how people are making all this money with doing that, but like somebody teach me because
Teach me your ways.
I could
Seriously.
definitely use that money.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't understand.
What was that thing
I
you
could
said?
say yum yum ice cream yum
That
yum.
was it. I was just gonna like, what did you say about ice cream?
What is it like? Ooh, pepper's hot. Mm.
The new trend right now is making popcorn with a straight iron.
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, where they're like making Oh
and
my
like, why are you
gosh.
gonna sit there and put like 1 or 2 kernels in and wait like so long for them to pop? Do you know how long it would take you to make a full bowl of popcorn doing
Also,
that?
I feel like the metal would make the popcorn taste really icky.
Right.
Especially if you have product residue.
Right.
Oh my god, that Garnier Fructis hit different.
God.
That's some seasoning.
Let's try got to be flavor next time.
Oh, I could only imagine. So, also talking about back to like the music thing, how AI can generate like a full song for you and you just have to give it a topic.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I
Or
hate that very much.
the AI automatically generating different verses.
Yeah.
Right now my feed is like littered with like the AI voices from like the SpongeBob characters.
Yes!
And some of them are kind of lit, to be honest.
Honestly, that's like the only thing about AI right now that I don't hate, minus like the cute filters and stuff.
Right.
I'm terrified when the day comes that someone's going to try and put AI into caregiving. Like, that's not...
You cannot teach robots how to have emotion.
God,
Oh my
they'd
gosh.
probably end up slapping asses when they're trying to change them.
Or wipe. Can you imagine wiping? That's a finger in the booty waiting to happen.
I can see AI being like, has anybody told you you're a pain in my ass?
Hi, my name is Joy.
Literally. Oh my
I feel like they would
gosh.
give it like the Siri voice though, or like the Alexa.
Right.
So I just have to point out here how many things are truly relevant, like, with caregiving. Like, I feel like we can find pretty much any topic and tie it in with caregiving somehow. Like, we're talking about TikTok, and yet we can still find a way.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they do like caregiving TikToks all the time. Like,
Honestly, healthcare TikToks in general are super relevant.
they're super funny too.
Yes, like the skits and stuff.
I don't
Yes,
know if
those
any
are funny.
of you out there, but I love watching Nurse John.
Yeah.
I love him. He's like
so
my favorite.
funny. Nurse John, if you hear this, give us a call, please.
Please.
Honestly though,
I would be okay with an email, a text message.
I
Instagram,
would die.
TikTok, Grinder.
I would pass away.
Stop it.
Okay, but it does make me curious though with like TikTok and like healthcare. What's like too far? You know, when you have like the residents in the skits and stuff. Like, it always makes me wonder when those pop up on my feed. Like, do they have a media consent on file for that?
Right? HIPAA signed.
Yeah. Usually they do.
Well, even like my one resident that is their own guardian had said something about being a guest on the podcast at one point, and I was like, I don't really know how that works.
I don't think I would feel comfortable with like having like residents as guests
No.
anyway.
No.
Just because it's like
No,
just because of the
because-
HIPAA situation, and I wouldn't want to like risk that in my
Well,
job.
right.
Like,
Not only that, but like the podcast is one of the ways that we're like taking our power back,
Yep.
and we're giving like caregivers and ourselves a voice. And when we're putting a
And
resident
it's-
on the show, like that takes away from that.
Right, and it also a lot of times we do like obviously we do like funny stories and stuff of like residents or like how they're like irritating or kind of dumb sometimes, and
Yeah.
and like having a resident on would probably not be the best idea then.
No.
No. So that brings me to another point though, like those TikToks that they use residents in, how freaking smart is that? That's like the best free advertising for
Right.
that facility.
Big
It really
facts.
Like,
Big
can we
facts.
just talk about that for a minute?
I mean,
Because
could you
that's
imagine
crazy.
how fun that is or whatever? Like too, especially when the residents are like fine with it or whatever, and they're like laughing right along with you. It's like a great advertisement saying like, "Hey, yeah, bring your loved one here or whatever." Like,
We have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, TikTok is just exploded in the way that people can use free advertising on TikTok, and it gets businesses and products
Mhm.
so much money, and they
Mhm.
don't have to pay a dime for that advertising.
Right. It is a lot of free advertisement, which is nice.
So more on like the AI things.
Yum yum.
Yeah,
Mm.
like it's
Ice
so
cream. Yum.
from like the music aspect. Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh because you guys are so silly. But from back to like the music aspect and like some other things, like it's just not as authentic, and I can't stand that in music when it's not authentic.
Yeah, my favorite are definitely the artists that like really work at their craft.
Absolutely. Like, you know how much work went into a song when you can just hear the
Yeah.
emotion.
Yes, when you
Yes, and
hear
that's
the
my favorite.
emotion
I feel
pouring out
like-
of it, yeah, it's like the best.
I feel like that's the only type of music that should be allowed ever. Because even like the happy songs, you can tell that someone is genuinely happy. They sound like they're enjoying what they're doing. You know?
But honestly,
Wrote that
I'm-
song.
But
Straight to
honestly,
jail.
I'm still game for like just a song that has like a good beat to it.
oh yeah,
Right,
same.
of course. Yeah. No, I totally agree. But it really does take away from the authenticity of it. And like, I feel like there's a lot of people on TikTok now, like the vast majority, not everybody obviously, but there's a lot of people on TikTok that are like putting in maybe a couple hours of work, and then they get the same results as like some celebrity who's been working at this for years.
Yeah, years and years and years.
And
yeah.
it's not fair.
No, it is really unfair. I don't know, like, how sometimes, like, I don't even know how, like, they boost their popularity, like, so fast. that
I feel
way.
like they
I know.
pay for it because
And they have to, because like there are influencers that literally pop up overnight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like one day someone's making a video, and then the next day everyone's talking about them, and you're like, who is this person?
Right.
Right,
Like,
and then
where
they
did you
pop
come
up.
from?
Then they
Right.
pop up on your FYP like super randomly, and then you're like, oh, that's who everybody's talking about.
Right.
Well, or, like, the ones that are, like, they rise to fame, like, super fast, and then all of a sudden just fall
and
off
then
the
they
face of the-
fizzle out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
like the one that comes to mind is the backpack kids who did the floss. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he was
Yup.
like super popular, and then all of a sudden or whatever, he's gone.
Gone.
Yeah,
Vanished into thin air.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys ever heard of Sugar Pine 7, but they were YouTubers that they bought. No, I can't remember. But anyway, Sugar Pine 7 like exploded, and literally within a year they were gone already. And now like they've all went their separate ways. None of them do YouTube anymore. Like, and they were so popular. They were coming
my
out with
God,
skits like every day. They were making music, like they had a band. They won one of the Streamy Awards, and then within a year,
that literally makes me sad sometimes because like there was like YouTubers that I was following for like forever,
Smosh.
and they like don't, and like a lot of them like don't make videos anymore, or you don't like hear about them. I'm like, I'm sad. They were like my favorite YouTuber.
Smosh, the original
Okay.
Smosh.
But Smosh getting back together, my 15-year-old self was screaming, okay?
Ah!
Now Anthony's back with just worse tattoos. And better hair.
Wait a damn minute, Anthony's back?
Back again.
What?
Nobody told me.
Are you... What?
I thought he was still doing his, like, own thing.
Are you serious?
I'm dead.
I messaged you.
Did you? No, you didn't.
I really did.
Oh, this must have been when I was dissociating. The BPD ADHD be hitting hard.
Oh my god.
Well, anyway, Anthony and Ian bought Smosh.
My life is complete again!
Oh my god.
You don't know how happy that just made me.
Dear Lord.
She cray.
We all knew that already, especially from my personal episode. Come on.
Oh my god. What were we talking about?
Oh, dear Lord, the ADHD.
Lots
is
of
so
YouTube
real.
creators
But
that
yes,
yeah.
YouTube creators who fizzle out basically as quickly as they rose to fame.
Jenna Marbles.
Yes.
I miss her.
Me too.
know.
I used to like just binge her videos because they were so stupid funny, and they were like something you could just like watch and just be entertained.
I remember seeing her for the first time on YouTube, and I instantly was like, follow, subscribe.
Yeah.
Like,
I think this would be a good time to talk about those YouTubers who start out as really authentic, and then as they keep going further in their career, that is clearly a person that you know, like, I would not want to meet them.
yeah.
Right.
Like, they would not be good.
Like Miranda sings.
Also, I feel like this is kind of a perfect time to bring up Eugenia Cooney as well.
Oh.
She has, like, really gotten popular lately, even though she's been around for, like,
I know.
ever.
Girl, she's been
she's
popular, but her
still-
fan base is still growing.
No, I know she's
And
been popular, but
I love her to death. I think she's an amazing, really
Me
sweet
too.
person. But the way that she's going about everything is so bad because there's so many young girls that watch her and comment, "Oh, I want to look just like you when I'm your age or whatever," and she's literally like on death's door anorexic.
I know.
she doesn't even,
I'm like worried about her. I'm like,
me too.
There's nothing wrong with being like thin. I
But
just
she-
want her to be healthy.
She doesn't
Yes.
even, like, say anything, though. Like, she never says, like, talks about how skinny she is or whatever. And that is something that irritates me because, like, I've seen so many articles about how, like, literally her presence is dangerous.
Because I feel like
Yes.
she knows. Like she knows that
She
it's
does
like a
know.
Obviously,
problem.
she knows, but
But I
like,
feel
she's
like-
almost living like the eating disorder fantasy because she's literally risen to like fame while still in this unhealthy state. And like you can tell that her mind is like not really the best anymore. Like you can tell that it's very much so more brain fog than anything at this point.
yeah.
And she kind of just like repeats herself, but she also like does these try-on hauls where she's wearing like bathing suits and she can literally body check while she's doing the video.
Right.
Like that's why she poses the way she does in the videos. Like she's literally looking at how skinny she is and seeing where else she can lose something.
But, like, at the end of the day, for her, it's, like, she's coming at it at a mindset of, like, this is her illness sort of thing. Like, she's doing these sort of things to, like, feed the anorexia. But everybody else, like, looking in, they're looking at her like she's literally, like, dangerous for trying on clothes. And she's
Right.
not. Like, everybody has to wear clothes.
Right. I
Like,
mean,
It's... I don't think it's her fault.
It's kind of a double-edged sword because I
is.
do feel like she knows what she's doing, but at the same time, I know that she also loves doing content creation.
Right, like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if she's anorexic or not. Like, it would probably still be her job no matter what.
right.
I just would really like to see her get better.
Yeah.
Me too. She's been, I feel like, in the danger
I
zone for a
do
long
remember.
She has.
I do remember her getting better for a little bit, and everybody was like so happy for her. And
Yeah,
then,
that was when the Shane Dawson interview stuff happened, and there's that big scandal with all of that.
Yeah.
Well, and like I feel like, I mean, being a TikToker is basically like the same as being a celebrity nowadays. So like you're under the microscope. Like you can't do anything without having people looking at you or saying something.
Right. And I do feel bad for like the hate that she gets because she doesn't
It's
deserve
so
it.
unnecessary.
I think the scarier thing about like being a content creator though is a lot of content creators or whatever, like they don't instantly, like they might have some fame, but they don't instantly make like a ton of money and like move to like this nice house and stuff and hire people to help them with everything. A lot of them will do it themselves. And the scary thought to me is like there's a lot of like fans out there and stuff that like high-end celebrities will like they'll try to stalk them or they'll try to like, you know, do all this stuff but those people afford security details and like people to protect them. But like a TikToker or something who doesn't have all that money to like, you know, buy like people to help them do all of that stuff
Gabby
or whatever.
Hanna, perfect example.
Like they could have people breaking into their houses, finding out where they live, and they don't have that protection. Yeah,
well,
because that was Gabby Hanna. That
she was on a live,
and she was by herself at home, and had to try to get this man out of her house
after she invited him in to use the bathroom.
Still though.
But this guy literally spent hours and hours in her home, and then she finally realized what was going on. Like, he wasn't there for her. He was literally there for views for himself. Mm-hmm. And she eventually was like, no, get out of my house.
But, like, that's scary. Like, she was there by herself. What if he decided that, like, he was just gonna get mad and, like, beat her or something?
Right.
Or do something else? What if he had some sort of weapon? Like,
well, look at Call Me Chris, too. She had that stalker incident, too, and now she doesn't want to post, like, her new home.
I know, yeah, she used to, I don't think she even posts, I don't even see her post TikToks in her house really anymore.
She doesn't post that much
She does
anymore.
In her house, but not outside anymore, because her dog videos where she was outside playing with her dog.
I've noticed when she does outside videos, it's always, like, somewhere else. Like, she's always somewhere else.
Right, and I feel like people just lose all sense of boundaries when it comes to anybody that's famous.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's right. Like, just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean that they don't have the right to privacy.
Right.
Especially
at least when they're home, if anything.
Right, which is also why I hate the paparazzi, too.
I get seeing a celebrity in public or whatever, and if they're, like, kind of really not in the middle of something, I mean, I would probably personally want to go up and ask and be like, hey, can I have, like, a picture or something real quick?
Right.
But, like, if they're in the middle of something and
dinner.
Like dinner or something, I'm like, I'm not gonna, like, bug them during that. Like, wait until they're done with their dinner and they're about to leave or something.
Right.
Or,
like, after they've gotten up.
Right. I feel like, especially people that are, like, in the bathroom the same time as a celebrity and they're like, oh, let me get a picture with you after we wash our hands. Like, can you wait until you're at least out of the bathroom?
Right.
Like, bro, I just peed. Like, can you give me a second?
Right.
Right.
But I feel like if you see a celebrity out and they're like grocery shopping and they just don't look like they're having a great day, leave them alone.
Yeah.
Right. They don't need that.
Like, pick up on the
read
social
the
cues.
room, people.
Well, and the same thing applies to, you know, like TikTokers.
Talking
and
about
stuff.
you, Karens.
And I feel like being a TikToker is especially scary because, like, there's so much information that you can get just off of the content that they post, especially, like, being doxxed. Like, that's scary.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And being swatted, that's another trend, too, which is horrifying. I don't even know why you would want to swat somebody.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that's crazy. But honestly, after all this social media talk, I think we should probably, like, talk about our social medias.
Agreed.
Okay. So, you can find us pretty much anywhere. Boss Ravioli Queens. You can find us TikTok, Twitter, Facebook,
Although we don't really...
YouTube. We haven't posted too much on everything yet, but we're working on getting a little better at that. And
Facebook is where it's pretty common.
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of still in the works.
It's in the works.
But it's Boss Ravioli Queens on all of those. No spaces in between. You can also, like, find us on Google. Like, if you type in Boss Ravioli Queens, we usually pop up.
On Spotify, yeah.
Yep.
Which makes me happy.
Our podcast also does release on pretty much anywhere you get your podcast. So, like, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. We have our podcast audios on too.
And also, we apologize, but we are not on Apple because
the
they
only
cost way
platform
too
we-
much.
Yeah,
don't
that's
use.
the only platform we're not using for our podcast, just because, like, yeah, you have to, like, pay for it.
You have
And,
to
like,
pay
obviously,
extra.
we're not rich.
Because
so-
Apple's a bitch.
And none of us have Apple phones anyway, so.
Uh-huh.
Facts.
So, all you Android users out there, we're with you.
Yes, we got you.
Well, until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.